There comes a moment in every life when the noise of the world tries to claim your peace. People will test you. Circumstances will provoke you. Life will stretch you to the edge of your composure. And in that moment, the power that defines your destiny will not be your strength to fight back, but your ability to remain still. The man who acts as if nothing bothers him is not weak. He has discovered a higher frequency of strength that no insult, no failure, no betrayal can touch. He has found dominion over self, and that is the highest throne a human being can sit upon. To act as if nothing bothers you does not mean you are blind to what is happening. It means you have chosen not to hand over your peace to the temporary storms of life. You have chosen to rise above reaction and stand in response. Every emotional outburst is an admission that something outside of you controls what lives within you. When you reach the point where you smile in the face of provocation, when you can remain calm while others lose themselves, you have entered the inner sanctuary of mastery. Your emotions are servants, not masters. When you learn to rule them, the world will begin to obey the vibration of your peace. The person who cannot control his emotions will always be controlled by the emotions of others. But the one who moves through life with quiet confidence, unshaken and undisturbed, commands respect without asking for it. That stillness is not emptiness, it is power contained. Hebrew, think for a moment about what disturbs you most. Is it the words of others? Is it failure, rejection, or the fear of being misunderstood? All of these are illusions, passing shadows cast upon the surface of your consciousness. You are not the shadow, you are the light that reveals it. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you shift your focus from the shadow to the light. You begin to see that every disturbance is only a reflection of your own untrained mind asking for mastery. You must train yourself to remain unmoved when the world trembles. You must learn the art of spiritual detachment, the divine ability to observe without absorbing. Life will always bring you reasons to react, but you must rise above reaction and dwell in reason. You are not here to prove your worth through anger or your importance through argument. You are here to demonstrate the calm authority of one who knows that his destiny cannot be altered by temporary chaos. Every great leader, every enlightened soul has mastered this discipline. They have learned to walk through storms with serenity because they understand a sacred truth. The world outside is only a mirror of the world within. If your inner kingdom is in harmony, no external battle can overthrow your peace. When you stop reacting, you stop feeding the power of the things that seek to control you. Remember this, composure is not the absence of emotion, it is the mastery of it. To act as if nothing bothers you is not to deny your feelings, it is to govern. It is to say to yourself, I will not let this moment steal my eternity. I will not let this situation define my state of being. This is emotional discipline at its highest form, the ability to remain serene in the midst of storms, knowing that every storm passes and only truth remains. There is a subtle law that few understand. The universe bends to the mind that remains calm. The restless mind distorts reality, but the calm mind commands it. When you no longer need to prove your power becomes absolute. When you no longer react to insults or setbacks, life begins to open its secret doors to you, because the universe recognizes mastery, and mastery is silence under pressure. So learn to walk through life untouched by the drama of others. Let them rage while you remain centered. Let them doubt while you remain faithful. Let them misunderstand while you remain clear. The world is not changed by those who react. It is changed by those who remain steadfast. The calm spirit has magnetic power. It draws order out of chaos, direction out of confusion, and wisdom out of turmoil. The next time something tries to disturb your peace, pause, breathe, smile, not because the situation is pleasant, but because you have remembered who you are. The moment you stop allowing external forces to dictate your internal state, you awaken your true strength. This is the secret of those who walk through life unbothered. They have realized that the only battle worth winning is the one within. To act as if nothing bothers you is not pretense. It is mastery in disguise. It is to move through life with divine confidence, knowing that everything that comes your way is either a lesson or a blessing, and in both you cannot lose. When you understand this, peace becomes your posture, and calm becomes your crown. And in that silence, unseen but deeply felt, you begin to rule your world. The moment you decide to act as if nothing bothers you, you step into a higher plane of existence, a realm where your peace is no longer up for negotiation. Life will always test you. People will misunderstand you, mock your silence, and mistake your calm for weakness. Circumstances will rise against you. Storms will break upon your path, and yet you must stand firm like the mountain unmoved by the wind. For there is a secret known only to those who have conquered themselves. Nothing in this world has power over you unless you allow it. Every irritation, every insult, every disappointment is a small invitation to lose yourself, but the wise reject it. They walk through the noise of life like still waters, reflecting light but never losing depth. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not pretending. It is awakening. It is the realization that your inner kingdom must remain untouched by the outer chaos. You are not here to react. You are here to reign. The moment you master your reactions, you master your destiny. You cease to be a product of the world and become a force that shapes it. To act as if nothing bothers you does not mean apathy. It means composure. It means understanding that your energy is too sacred to waste on things that will not matter tomorrow. Every time you react to the smallness of others, you shrink to their level. Every time you allow offense to settle in your heart, you give away a piece of your peace. And peace, my friend, is the rarest form of wealth. Protect it. Guard it with your silence. Let the world see you calm when they expect chaos. That is true strength. Anyone can shout, argue, or explode under pressure, but only the disciplined soul can smile when the world burns around him and say, "This too shall pass." The mind that remains still while others tremble holds the keys to unseen power. It is the same power that built empires, the same power that carried great men through storms, the same power that separates masters from the multitude. There is a divine law that governs the universe, like attracts like. The energy you radiate becomes the reality you experience. If you radiate panic, you attract more chaos. If you radiate calm, the world must eventually mirror that calm back to you. To act as if nothing bothers you is to declare before heaven and earth that you trust the process. You trust that what is meant for you cannot be taken away, and what leaves you was never meant to stay. This awareness frees you from anxiety. You stop chasing validation, stop fearing loss, stop explaining your worth. The calm spirit knows that what is his will find its way home. You become unshakable because you no longer depend on outcomes, you depend on inner certainty. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you detach from the illusion of control. You begin to see that every event, every delay, every betrayal serves your awakening. The people who provoke you are not enemies, they are mirrors showing you where you are not yet free. The moment you recognize this, irritation transforms into instruction. You thank the test instead of fighting it. You rise above judgment and realize that no person's behavior has the authority to dictate your mood. The moment you give someone the power to disturb your peace, you have declared them greater than you. But when you smile in silence, you take back your throne. The calm soul is always the king, for the king does not fight every noise in the kingdom. He rules by quiet command. Understand this truth. Detachment is not coldness. It is clarity. You do not distance yourself because you no longer care. You distance yourself because you finally do. You care about your growth, your purpose, your vibration. You refuse to be entangled in energies that lower your frequency. You choose your battles wisely, and most of the time you choose none, for silence is the loudest declaration of inner power. Every reaction is an energy transaction. Every time you respond to nonsense, you spend a part of your divine inheritance. Learn to hold your energy like gold. Spend it only on creation, Nev. R, on conflict. The one who can stay calm under pressure is the one the universe entrusts with influence. To act as if nothing bothers you is to live from the inside out. You no longer let the external dictate the internal. You become centered, rooted, unmovable. You learn to stand in peace while chaos surrounds you, knowing that peace is not the absence of noise, but the presence of understanding. This level of mastery demands practice. It requires watching your thoughts, guarding your words, and choosing silence over reaction. It is a daily training of the spirit to respond, not react, to observe, not absorb, to understand, not resist. With time, you become less affected by insults, less shaken by setbacks, less distracted by drama. You begin to walk through life with a quiet smile that confuses those who once controlled your emotions. They cannot understand why you no longer flinch. That confusion is your victory. When you reach this point, something miraculous happens. Your energy begins to change. People sense your composure before you speak. Situations that once drained you begin to dissolve in your calm. You attract peace because you have become it. You attract stability because you radiate it. The world cannot give you what you already are, and that is the secret. The outside cannot bless you more than your inner state allows. The higher your vibration, the calmer your reaction, the more aligned your reality becomes. To act as if nothing bothers you is to align yourself with divine flow, to move with faith instead of fear, to trust instead of tremble, to surrender instead of strive. There is wisdom in restraint. There is divinity in silence. There is power in serenity. When you can look at a situation designed to break you and simply breathe, you have transcended it. You are no longer the same being who once sought revenge, who once defended every accusation, who once needed to prove your worth. You have evolved beyond ego into essence, and in that evolution lies your freedom. So walk through the world with quiet authority. Let nothing shake the stillness of your soul. When they insult you, bless them in your heart. When they doubt you, smile and keep moving. When they betray you, thank them for teaching you the value of loyalty. When life tests you, rise above it as if nothing bothers you, because deep down you know nothing truly can. You are spirit in motion, peace wearing the disguise of flesh. The world may roar, but the one who has mastered himself will always move in silence, untouched, unbothered, and unconquered. To act as if nothing bothers you is to claim dominion over the invisible forces that seek to control your state of being. It is to awaken to the truth that peace is not granted by circumstance, but chosen by will. The world is filled with people who are slaves to reaction, driven by impulse, wounded by words, moved by fear, and ruled by the unpredictable tides of emotion. But the one who has learned to act as if nothing bothers him has transcended this prison. He stands as a silent master among the restless masses, untouched by the drama of the day, unbent by the storms of opinion. His strength is not loud, it is sacred, subtle, and still. It is the strength of one who knows that everything external is temporary, and therefore unworthy of disturbing the eternal calm within. When you reach this level of awareness, you begin to see life differently. What once provoked you now teaches you. What once offended you now amuses you. You no longer take things personally because you understand that nothing others do is truly about you. It is only a reflection of their own inner state. This realization frees you from the trap of reaction. It liberates you from emotional slavery. You start to observe instead of absorb. You see through the behavior of others as one sees through mist, understanding that most people act from fear, insecurity, or ignorance. You do not judge them, you simply refuse to let their storms disturb your sky. This is what it means to be emotionally and spiritually untouchable. Imagine walking through a marketplace of noise, opinions, and chaos, and yet moving as a still point of calm in the center of it all. That is mastery. You no longer need to explain yourself. You no longer need to prove your worth. You no longer seek validation from the unstable, because your worth is rooted in something eternal, something that cannot be praised into existence nor insulted out of it. The calm spirit knows that truth needs no defense. The wise man knows that silence is not weakness, it is strategy, Every word you choose not to speak in anger is a seed of wisdom planted in your own future. Every emotion you master in the moment of tension becomes a brick in the fortress of your peace. To act as if nothing bothers you does not mean you have numbed yourself to life. It means you have understood that your energy is sacred. You have learned to reserve your fire for creation, not destruction. You have realized that to fight every battle is to exhaust your spirit before you even reach your destiny. The higher you ascend in purpose, the quieter you must become. The air at the top of the mountain is thin. It is not meant for shouting, but for breathing. In the same way, those who walk closely with wisdom do not waste breath on reaction. They move in quiet knowing, because they trust the law of cause and effect, that everything done in darkness will be revealed in time, and everything meant for them will arrive without force. This discipline of calmness is the crown of the spiritually mature. It is not easily won. It demands that you die to your ego daily. The ego thrives on reaction. It hungers for attention, validation, and the satisfaction of being right. But the soul seeks peace, not victory. The soul is content in stillness. It knows that every reaction weakens the connection between you and your higher self. When you choose silence over argument, you preserve your VB. Ration. You remain in alignment with divine intelligence. You become a vessel through which higher wisdom can flow. For the voice of God does not speak in noise, it whispers in stillness. And only those who have mastered calm can hear it clearly. Every time you are provoked, you are being invited to demonstrate your mastery. Every insult, every delay, every rejection is a classroom where your soul is being trained to remain steady. The universe does not test you to break you. It tests you to reveal you. Each disturbance shows you how far you've come and how much further you can rise. The more you grow, the more peace becomes your natural state, not your performance. You no longer act as if nothing bothers you. You truly feel untouched within. You reach a level where no outcome can shake your trust. No person can distort your self-image. No loss can threaten your identity. This is freedom. This is inner sovereignty. Hebrew hui, think of the ocean. Waves crash, winds blow, storms rage on the surface. But in the depths there is stillness. That depth is your spirit. The surface is your mind, your emotions, your reactions. The goal of mastery is not to stop the waves, but to anchor yourself deep enough that they no longer move you. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are not pretending the storm isn't real. You are simply remembering that you are deeper than the storm. The calm you cultivate becomes your protection. It is armor that no insult can pierce and no chaos can breach. You walk through life shielded by composure, guided by faith, and sustained by wisdom. Understand, too, that calmness is contagious. When you remain composed, you unconsciously teach others how to find their center. Your presence becomes a sanctuary for those still learning to master theirs. People will feel safer around you, not because you speak loudly, but because your energy whispers stability. The true leader leads not by force, but by vibration. The world follows the one who does not flinch, who does not fear, who does not lose himself to the noise. That kind of presence cannot be faked. It is forged in silence, through long battles with the self, through countless moments where you chose peace over pride, stillness over shouting, patience over panic. Every moment of restraint adds to your power. Every time you act as if nothing bothers you, you reclaim authority over your life. You stop being a puppet pulled by emotion and become a conductor directing your own symphony. Life becomes smoother because your inner turbulence no longer feeds external chaos. What once took your peace now tests your peace, and every test passed increases your strength. The wise do not escape challenge, they transcend it through discipline. They remain calm not because life is easy, but because they understand that losing peace is too expensive a price to pay. So live from a place of divine neutrality. Love deeply but without attachment. Care sincerely but without dependency. Serve selflessly but without expectation. When you can give your best and remain calm regardless of the outcome, you have become untouchable. You will walk through life radiant, steady, and centered. and the world will begin to rearrange itself in harmony with your calm. For the universe always mirrors your state of being. To act as if nothing bothers you is to declare to the cosmos that you have mastered the art of inner balance, that no external force has authority over your peace. And as you hold that posture day after day, something extraordinary unfolds. The people who once provoked you lose their power. The circumstances that once terrified you now serve as background noise. The fears that once paralyzed you begin to dissolve in the light of your new awareness. You no longer chase control, you embody it. You no longer seek strength, you have become it. To act as if nothing bothers you is not an act at all. It is the natural state of one who has remembered his divinity, his purpose, and his unshakable place in the order of life. To act as if nothing bothers you is to possess a kind of power that transcends logic and emotion alike. It is the quiet majesty of a soul that has conquered itself, the invisible crown worn by those who no longer serve the tyranny of reaction. In a world where most people are addicted to response, where every word, look, or event triggers some eruption of feeling, the one who remains still becomes extraordinary. This stillness is not emptiness, it is strength contained. It is the inner calm that whispers, "I am greater than this moment." When you reach the point where nothing external can dictate your internal state, you have entered the realm of mastery. The storms still come, but they no longer rule you. You see them for what they are. Temporary disturbances passing across the sky of your awareness, while your essence remains the clear, infinite space beyond them. Life will constantly send tests to measure the depth of your composure. You will be criticized for things you didn't do, misunderstood by people you tried to help, and faced with moments that appear designed to break your balance. Yet each of these moments carries a hidden opportunity, the chance to rise above yourself. The measure of your growth is not found in how calm you are when everything goes right, but how still you remain when everything seems to go wrong. Those who can smile amid turmoil have discovered a sacred secret, that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the mastery of reaction. To act as if nothing bothers you is not to deny reality. It is to acknowledge that no external reality can disturb the eternal truth of who you are. Hebrews' state of inner sovereignty begins with awareness. You must learn to observe your thoughts as a silent witness, not as a participant. When irritation arises, watch it. When anger flares, observe it. Do not suppress it and do not feed it. Simply recognize that it is energy seeking expression. The moment you identify it without judgment, you separate yourself from it. You are not your emotion, you are the awareness observing it. This simple shift in perception transforms your entire existence. The one who can watch his mind without becoming it has already mastered half the journey to peace. From that place of awareness, reactions lose their grip. You no longer respond to every trigger because you understand the triggers are invitations, each one asking, will you rise above or will you descend into reaction? Every time you choose calm over chaos, silence over shouting, you ascend a little higher into mastery. To act as if nothing bothers you is to become emotionally self-sufficient. You cease to depend on external validation for your internal stability. The opinions of others, the fluctuations of fortune, the approval or rejection of the world, all of it becomes noise against the backdrop of your steady rhythm. This does not mean you are detached from life. It means you are no longer imprisoned by it. You still feel, but you do not fall. You still care, but you do not cling. You can love without losing yourself, give without resentment, and walk away without bitterness. That is freedom, the ability to remain whole regardless of what happens around you. The world belongs to those who cannot be disturbed, for they are guided not by circumstance, but by consciousness. Many people mistake calmness for passivity, but it is the opposite. To stay calm requires immense strength. It demands restraint when ego calls for reaction, patience when pride demands defense, and wisdom when fear urges chaos. The calm person is not weak. He is simply too strong to waste energy on things unworthy of his spirit. He knows that the moment he reacts in anger, He hands power to the very thing that sought to disturb him, and so he chooses to remain unmoved, not because he cannot respond, but because he understands the cost of losing his peace. When you reach that level of control, your silence becomes a weapon, your stillness a statement. The world begins to respond to your calm with respect. People may not understand your quiet, but they will feel your authority. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not an act of indifference. It is an act of supreme faith. Faith that life is unfolding exactly as it should. Faith that every challenge is a tool shaping your character. Faith that the universe always balances itself in your favor when you remain in harmony. The person who reacts to everything lives in turbulence, but the one who trusts moves in flow. When you no longer rush to fix, argue, or explain, you create space for divine order to work on your behalf. The calm mind opens doors the anxious mind cannot see. Miracles are drawn to stillness because stillness is alignment with the creative intelligence that governs all things. Consider the sun. It shines without argument, unaffected by clouds or shadows. It gives light freely, never asking for gratitude, never dimming itself because the world grows dull. It remains what it is, constant, radiant, untouched. To act as if nothing bothers you is to live as the sun does, to shine from your essence regardless of the temporary clouds of life. When people throw shade, you continue to glow. When circumstances shift, you remain centered. This is not arrogance, it is divine self-recognition. It is knowing that your peace is not borrowed from the world, so the world cannot take it away. There is great wisdom in refusing to engage with every disturbance. Every reaction feeds the thing you wish to overcome. Every time you argue with the small-minded, you become small. Every time you explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding, you lower your vibration. But when you walk away, when you remain calm, when you hold your energy instead of scattering it, you rise. You vibrate higher. The universe bends toward your frequency. This is how peace becomes power, by discipline, by detachment, by choosing silence over noise. You must learn to live as if you are already victorious, as if every obstacle has already surrendered to your calm, because in truth, it has. The moment you stop fighting with reality, reality stops fighting with you. The moment you stop chasing control, life begins to move in your favor. To act as if nothing bothers you is to embody trust, to live from the knowing that what is meant for you cannot be delayed, and what is not meant for you cannot be forced. It is the consciousness of mastery disguised as simplicity. The unbothered spirit radiates quiet confidence because it has seen through the illusion of chaos. It understands that all motion returns to stillness and all storms eventually pass. When you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, the world will test you harder. It will send situations to see if you have truly learned your lesson. But instead of reacting, you will breathe. Instead of arguing, you will observe. Instead of worrying, you will smile. And in that moment, you will realize that nothing external has changed, but you have. And that changes everything. You have reclaimed your throne. You have remembered that you were never meant to be shaken by the temporary. You were meant to stand as an unmoved presence of peace amid the storm. So carry yourself with the calm of one who knows his purpose. Speak with the certainty of one who has nothing to prove. Walk with the stillness of one who trusts the invisible hand of destiny. The world may spin around you, but your spirit will remain anchored in its center. When you can act as if nothing bothers you, you become the calm in every chaos, the silence that restores order, the peace that heals the room. This is true power, the kind that cannot be taken, cannot be faked, and cannot be disturbed. There is a divine power in the person who walks through life as if nothing can shake them. Such a person radiates an energy that commands both respect and mystery. People sense something different about them, something unspoken but deeply felt. It is not arrogance nor indifference. It is a sacred stillness born of self-mastery. To act as if nothing bothers you is not to close your heart, but to open your soul to a higher understanding. That peace is your natural state, and anything that tries to disturb it is an illusion. You begin to see through the noise of the world and realize that all external disturbances are but waves upon the surface of a vast ocean that cannot be moved. Beneath every storm lies the same stillness, and that stillness is who you are. You cannot reach this state by pretending or performing calmness. You must build it through awareness, through spiritual discipline, through the daily decision not to react. Every day will bring its trials. An unkind word, an unexpected delay, a disappointment you didn't see coming, and each one will whisper the same question. Will you rise above this, or will you let it pull you down? Those moments are sacred tests. They are opportunities to train your spirit in the art of detachment. When you choose peace over reaction, you are telling the universe that you trust its order, that you no longer need to fight for control because you have already claimed mastery over your inner world. The calm person may appear to do nothing, yet in that stillness he does more than the restless ever could. He influences the unseen, aligns with divine timing, and allows the higher forces of life to work on his behalf. To act as if nothing bothers you is to step out of the battle between ego and circumstance. The ego wants to be right. The spirit wants to be free. The ego reacts to defend its image. The spirit observes in silence, knowing truth defends itself. When you silence the ego, you become untouchable. You no longer flinch at criticism, for you understand that judgment says more about the speaker than the subject. You no longer seek revenge, for you know that every wrong will find its own correction in time. You no longer fear loss, because you have realized that nothing real can be taken from you. You stop clinging to the transient and begin to rest in the eternal. That is the posture of the awakened soul, anchored, unwavering, serene. Hebrew people will misinterpret your calm. They will think you are cold, that you do not care, that you are detached from feeling. Let them. You do not owe them access to your peace. You do not have to explain the quiet you fought so hard to earn. The one who truly understands will recognize your stillness as strength, your silence as sovereignty, and even those who misunderstand you will eventually sense something about you they cannot name, a kind of authority that cannot be imitated. It is the authority of one who has mastered himself. While others waste energy reacting to every shift in the wind, you conserve your power. You hold it close, directing it toward creation, not chaos. You understand that true control is not about changing what happens. It is about mastering how you move through what happens. Hebrew each time you remain calm in the face of provocation, you rise above the ordinary. You prove to yourself that peace is not fragile. It is ferocious. It is not the quiet of weakness, but the quiet of those who no longer need to prove their strength. The world glorifies those who shout the loudest, but the universe bows to those who stay still. The laws of energy respond to composure because composure is alignment. In stillness, your thoughts become precise, your intuition sharpens, and your perception clears. You begin to see solutions where others see problems. You begin to act from wisdom rather than reaction. And soon, life itself begins to move differently around you. Obstacles soften. Timing aligns. Opportunities reveal themselves, not because the world has changed, but because you have. This way of being requires courage. It takes courage to be silent when insulted, to remain kind when wronged, to smile when misunderstood. It takes strength to walk away instead of fighting, to let time reveal what your pride wants to prove now. But the more you practice restraint, the stronger your inner foundation becomes. One day you will look back and realize that the very things that once disturbed your peace now seem trivial. You will wonder why you ever allowed them to affect you at all. That is the moment you will understand the essence of freedom. Not freedom from challenge, but freedom from disturbance. You begin to notice that peace is not passive. It is a living, breathing force that shapes reality in your favor. When you carry peace, people are drawn to you. They feel safer around you. They trust you without knowing why. Your calm becomes contagious. It elevates rooms, disarms conflict, and inspires reflection. You become a mirror for others to see what balance looks like. That is the hidden beauty of spiritual detachment. It does not isolate you from others. It liberates you to love them more purely. Because you are no longer driven by need or fear, your interactions come from wholeness. You love without expectation, speak without ego, and give without losing yourself. You are free to be fully present because your peace no longer depends on how others behave. To act as if nothing bothers you is to live with quiet faith. It is to know that the laws of cause and effect are always at work, that divine order never fails, and that what is meant for you cannot pass you by. This understanding removes urgency and replaces it with certainty. You no longer rush to make things happen. You align yourself with the current of life and allow it to carry you where you are meant to go. The anxious fight the flow, the wise become one with it. They do not resist the delays or the detours. They recognize them as redirections. Every closed door is simply another form of guidance. Every loss, a lesson. Every rejection, a redirection toward something higher. When you walk through life with this awareness, you become untouchable. Not because the world stops testing you, but because you no longer fall for the illusion of the test. You see through it. You recognize that the storm is only a play of the elements, and that your spirit remains the sky behind it all. And once you understand this, you stop running from discomfort. You stop defending your peace as though it can be stolen. Instead, you begin to live from the knowing that peace is who you are. It is not something you protect. It is something you project. So, let the world do what it will. Let people talk, let situations unfold, let life bring its lessons. You will no longer be moved. You will stand as the silent witness to all that passes, rooted in the eternal truth that nothing can disturb the one who has found his center. The calm within you will speak louder than any reaction ever could. And as you continue to act as if nothing bothers you, you will discover that truly nothing does. For you have awakened to the power that cannot be shaken, the power of a mind at peace and a spirit fully aligned with its divine purpose. The essence of this entire teaching is that the highest form of power is calmness, not the calmness that pretends, but the calmness that comes from deep understanding. When you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you are not ignoring life, you are mastering it. You are declaring that nothing outside of you holds authority over what lives within you. This is not weakness, it is divine strength. The kind of strength that transforms chaos into clarity, pain into purpose, and trials into triumphs. The man or woman who can walk through storms without losing their stillness has already won. They have conquered the only battlefield that truly matters, the battlefield of the mind. The world cannot control a person who governs their emotions, because such a person is no longer reacting to life, they are directing it. They are living from within, not from without. To act as if nothing bothers you is to live in alignment with truth. It is to stand firm in faith, anchored in purpose, and guided by the quiet assurance that everything unfolds as it should. It is the art of holding peace when others lose it, of remaining light when the world grows dark. It is the signature of those who have remembered who they truly are, eternal, unshaken, and infinitely greater than anything that can ever happen to them. When you reach that state, your silence becomes your statement, your calm becomes your crown, and your very presence begins to heal what chaos once broke. That is the victory of the awakened soul, to live in the world untouched by it, to face every storm and still say with unshakable certainty, "Then nothing can disturb the peace I did not borrow from the world."